Well, I thought that was, I knew that, we knew that. We knew they wanted to vote on it.
Okay, I'm gonna call this meeting to order. This is the select board meeting for December 10th. And first, can someone
I'll approve the agenda.
second it? Okay, I've had a request from Walter to move his time from can't find it now,
That's my finances.
but he wanted to be
I
at
have to.
7:50, which
We've done a hurry.
may not have to change anything.
That's good.
So just make a note of that. Walter at 7:50. It's his agenda. I don't even see him on here.
Number 7 at 7:30
For
for
hazard.
pre-buyouts for hazard mitigation.
Okay,
So he's already got his wish of a later time.
he does. Okay, so let's all vote on accepting the agenda.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any public comments? Hearing none. Flood hazard ordinance.
Well, I make a motion to approve the flood hazard ordinance so that we can vote it.
So that we can vote, okay.
What?
We vote it down, but it's things.
The way
We don't have to take any action at all.
is we need to discuss it, so. We have to have some topic to discuss, and that's flood hazard ordinance, approving the agenda, approving the ordinance. Can we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Any discussion?
Yeah, I think we should have another public meeting. I think we should email these people and try to have, as many outreach as possible to the people on that we, on at least on the river. And the people that were at these meetings, we should have a bunch of emails that we should email them out and invite them to come
And address these issues.
and address the very specific issues that Tim wrote down.
Grandfather, past practices, property tax adjustment. And just well define the products being stored.
And to adjust the otherwise pretty good flood hazard regulations. Make some tweaks. And keep going to the town meeting,
And put it to a town vote.
town vote.
Well, emailing people is fine now, but are you going
I'm
to
gonna
personally identify
specifically-
all the parcels
I'm
and
gonna
then email them?
specifically email Rana. I can't do everybody, but I will do Rana because
Okay.
she was here and she asked for it. And these guys,
And what about
they
the
wrote
people
down-
that are affected and didn't ask for it specifically and then get upset afterwards?
Well, we've got 3 email addresses.
well, I'm
so-
gonna do my best, Patrick. I don't know, I
Okay.
mean, but whatever,
I-
you know
I think-
people
I
on
think- I think us that are involved and like my son was affected was already.
spread
Yeah.
the word.
On the campground,
Happy to.
and we're happy to try to,
Yeah,
cause it is disappointing to me when I come here, cause it has a big effect on my son's property.
Mhm.
That people aren't here, like, where are they, it's. And I understand that your frustration too, that, when you put things on the website and everything else.
Well, yeah, and
it goes up.
that's my point. I'm not,
No, I
I'm
know,
not
I
trying to beat
understand that
people, but
completely.
it's
It's
like we
frustrating for
warn
you,
people the
because-
best we can. I
Yeah,
mean,
know.
we cannot lead them by the nose
I
to a
completely
meeting.
understand, I completely understand.
Somebody's got their hand up.
it's Joe.
Hi,
Yeah, Joe.
I kind of, I'd like you to know that I appreciate the nod to that they should have been able to find this information in the paper, and I would just like to publicly say, why don't you just tell them to read the goddamn paper?
I was
blanking on the name of it, but thanks for reminding.
That's our primary source to get the information out.
I would like to discuss as a select board, whether it's a town vote or a town discussion at town meeting.
I would like to see it be a vote. I
Okay,
mean, we
I
have,
agree.
this thing has, the plan commission did I think the technical term is a metric shit ton of work to get this thing done.
Yeah.
And it's,
that word's often heard at a select board meeting. By a select board member.
you know, and unfortunately, because of some missteps and technicalities, we missed the opportunity to have a vote on election day. I think it is important to have it. I would prefer to see it not be on its own special vote day. I think your turnout for that is lower. And I think on town meeting would be the next natural time to have it presented.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I want, you know, even if people aren't aware, if they show up, then they know that it's happening. And I mean, because it was on election day, even though it was unofficial, we got a good number of results. So I'd like to see a good number of results rather than having something passed by 26 people.
Should it be an Australian ballot item or vote from the floor at town meeting?
I would prefer an Australian ballot.
Me
I
too.
don't know if we get to make that decision.
I think
would
that can be
need
made by the
to-
floor.
I have to check the statute to
Okay.
see how it has to be voted. Because there's different rules for different things. You might have to vote Australian or. you
Oh,
might
okay.
have to
I see
vote
what you
from
mean.
the floor,
Yep,
and
yep.
I'm not sure,
Well, this
What
last
was-
one would have been considered an Australian ballot.
correct.
So,
I would prefer that.
so my guess is. that
My guess is that it does
has
need
to be an Australian ballot. Okay.
But also that would mean that your discussion about it would occur
At pre-town
at
meeting.
pre-town meeting, not at town meeting, because it wouldn't be an item.
Well,
And
that's okay, because that's another fairly well publicized
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah.
You know, that everybody knows happens.
Yeah, but a floor, you could be dealing with, 100 or 200 people at town meeting versus the numbers we already.
Well, it
have
would
for
still be
floor.
required to have another public hearing, right? If we
should have another
propose
public
changes,
hearing
if we
anyway.
propose
If you
changes,
make changes to the ordinance, yes, you are required to have another public hearing.
so there would be another warned and advertised chance for folks to come in and talk about it. Well, two more, because then it would be pre-town meeting also.
Mhm.
Well, if we're gonna do it at town meeting, we've gotta get.
what's the
Cracking.
timeline
Yeah,
on
that's a
that?
good-
Yeah, what's the timeline on that for us to have it as a vote on town meeting? What's our deadline?
With the way that the mail has been, I really wanna get the town report to the printers as early in January as possible. Which is why I've been giving you guys such a hard time about the budget. Like realistically, we need the report to get to the printer no later than January 10th. So that they have time to print it and then we have time to get it into the mail.
So that means we
It
would
would-
have to get the
It
Actual
means that you would have,
amendment.
it means that you would have to put voting on the ordinance onto the warning. You have to warn the public hearing at least 10 days ahead of the date of the public hearing. And not sooner than 15 days after you make any amendments. So you would have to have your amendments in by the end of January, so that you could make your amendments, hold the public hearing at least 15 days after you've
Mhm.
finalized your amendments, and then be ready to vote on town meeting day.
But we don't have to have the wording and everything finished by the print date or whatever.
Ideally, you would
Yeah.
have that prepared so that we could include the draft ordinance in the town report, because then everyone who gets the town report receives a copy of the draft ordinance.
This big thing, this thing.
Yeah,
But that couldn't be done by January 10th, is what I.
it could if you,
Yeah.
do the
Really?
work and call some extra
Adjustments.
meetings.
We only have to make
That's 3 adjustments.
So why don't we give ourselves a
Ah.
deadline of January 7th? which is a Tuesday.
Seventh, okay.
I think if that was in the town report, that'd be great. Nobody could complain. I mean, that gets mailed to everybody.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
Yeah.
Say we're gonna,
But that's the
we're gonna
first
change the
Tuesday.
name of.
I'm sorry,
That's
but
not our
It's the
Tuesday.
first Tuesday, no, so you'd wanna call a special meeting.
at that meeting, we would be discussing
And
amendments.
At that meeting, we would be adopting,
We would be finalizing.
we'd be finalizing,
The three specific amendments that we just,
correct the mundo.
okay, then I would say that that's the only thing we should do at that meeting.
If it's just the three amendments, that's not one of the, that's not the hearing, that's just for
No,
us
Yes.
to rework, to,
So
and
we
if
could
somebody
put it
wanted
in
to,
here, so we can
write
print
up
it.
proposed amendments prior to that, it would make the discussion shorter.
I almost think you need to have. If you would like to have your proposed amendments reviewed by other parties, which you always should when you're writing an ordinance. You need to get those ready, because you're coming up on Christmas, so if you want anyone to have time to look at it before you finalize it. You need to draft those.
By the 17th,
Just
probably.
take what's here and bend it, that's all you do.
I know, but that's, I mean, it's already 8 o'clock.
Well,
Lands to which this bylaw applies, where it was.
Stuart,
I'm looking at the calendar.
we also have to, somebody has to write a narrative from the select board, should be where. Or perhaps John, for the longest number.
I don't mind doing that.
Okay. So in the past. People have sent you an idea and you,
Wait, don't get distracted by
I know,
writing
I
a
know, I
report
know.
for town report.
that's. I said the seventh,
You said what?
the seventh.
Yeah, but we're.
Yeah, but
talking about
she wants it now,
We
she
should
wants
have
us
a-
No,
to.
not now.
I don't want it now, but I mean,
Preliminary.
by Friday next week.
Yeah.
And then maybe you can have some others review it by Friday, January 3rd. So that when you call your special meeting on Tuesday, January 7th, you are sure that your amendments pass muster and are ready to go.
And just to be painfully clear, when you say others to review it, you're talking about like,
Fine.
Like
Two
Kyle
Rivers?
from
Yeah.
Two Rivers, yeah.
Planning commission.
I mean, the planning commission's out, it is the ball is in our court, so I mean,
No,
sending
I'm
them.
saying for them to review, I'm not
Bounce
saying,
it off.
I just to say, hey, do you wanna look at this again? I mean, is that,
I mean, you could, but the planning commission isn't gonna meet again until
Tuesday, the 7th.
Tuesday, the 7th.
hey Jacob, it looks like you have your eyes on this pretty well. What section, do you know of the section that specifically, could you just, point to the section that you want to adjust for product storage? So we can, so I can,
Yeah, let me get the page number here.
if you know.
Oh, this is the wrong one. Yeah, I'm doing that again.
Is it section E? Is it the standard?
Developments within, so section D, developments within the river corridor.
E,
What's the
page number?
Roman numeral?
Number 7.
Seven.
I think, yeah, I think. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, section C, development on page 6. Section C, development of new river corridors. Number 2.
On what page, Jacob?
Next.
Hold on, sorry, I'm just like trying.
No,
to
no, no,
think
and
real
I
quickly.
was,
Uh,
I just thought you might know, right?
I didn't know
A
off the
good
top.
spot.
I mean, it's right in the table here, it shows you, you know. Storage is number 2 in the table, right on page 3.
Okay,
It
yep.
says storage, and then it shows, you know, it's not allowed to plug in, not allowed to plug people, it's not allowed in any of the areas that they. I mean, I'm specifically in the 500 here, I guess that would be your decision on which zone you would want to. I guess I'm concerned about the 500 year of the river corridor, because that's where I fall into. But I
Yeah,
know,
you're talking about storage and,
and then storage is also defined in the table of definitions. Which is on page 25. That's what they call storage. The aggregation of materials and of objects, whether natural or human made, that is kept as a stockpile collection or inventory that exceeds 10 cubic yards. That cubic meters. Again, that further defines it, but I mean, the town sand pile totally meets that, you know, as far as a violation.
Well, maybe it shouldn't be
Triggers a
there.
violation.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, triggers the violation, yeah.
No, and I think it's important to point that out, but that also raises the question, maybe it shouldn't be there. Maybe salt shouldn't be stored in the flood, in the floodway either. Like, not a great idea.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's past practice, you know what I mean?
It is past practice, but
I'm not
doesn't
sure
mean,
past practices makes it okay.
no.
No, we should be addressing the change.
You know, there's certain things that just. We have to say are
Not okay.
not ever gonna be allowed. We have a motion on the floor, and that is to, accept this ordinance as written. Well, that's not the wording. Accept this ordinance. Are we ready to vote on that?
Yes.
All right, everybody all those in favor of accepting the flood hazard ordinance as written, say aye. Hearing none, any nays?
No,
Nay. Okay, the nays have it. We are not accepting this ordinance as written.
Patrick, did you?
I'm
sorry,
abstaining.
Thank you. So I've got 4 nays and 1 abstain. Is that accurate?
That is correct.
So we will put down a plan.
will we work out the adjustments that we heard?
We need to meet and try to work that out.
Now, do you feel comfortable or writing it in?
no, I would like to have some. Not right now, it's like, I'm so crazy busy right now, right before Christmas.
Yeah.
That's how everybody is, but,
So we're not gonna get this done by the 12th.
that's when I'm.
Are there
looking
a
at-
couple of select board members that have some bandwidth to meet and propose some changes for review by the rest of the board?
Sure, I'll
I
come
will-
in and talk with you, Victoria.
And I am not writing your
Yeah.
ordinance.
Yeah,
Not
I
in
will
you.
work.
It can only be 2, right?
It could be 2, or if you have a regular meeting time, you can warn it as a work session. Proposing changes is considered administrative because you're not taking any action, you're
Okay.
not encumbering any funds. It's
Yeah.
just work
Yeah.
that needs to be done for the select board.
Just wanna,
Yes,
be
I got
sure.
you.
So with
Okay,
that said, is there a limit to how many we could all meet if we wanted to, right?
Yes, but if the 5 of you were going to meet, then you should warn it as a meeting.
I will not be there.
Won't be there.
I will be there.
yeah, I'll come.
I would like to sit in.
Okay. And now we just gotta figure out when.
Thursday at 11,
What Thursday?
Thursday,
this one.
this
I will be in Montreal.
I'll be in Waterbury. No, Montpelier. So Thursday at 11 is not working unless it's 11 p.m.
Are you, anybody back on Friday?
Yeah. Yeah.
Late or Friday? I expect to be a little tired. Friday morning after.
How about the
Monday.
11th? Tomorrow. Can we push that to the next week for your
Well,
schedule,
you,
Victoria?
how much warning do you
I
need to
swear,
warn a
so much right
working
now.
session?
If you don't need to warn, or otherwise it could be warned as a special select board meeting, which is just 24 hours.
The next week is okay with me, either anytime.
Yeah, next week I'm open the entire week.
How about
Except Thursday.
the 15th to the 21st, somewhere in there.
Next Thursday.
Next Thursday, the 19th. Is that what Nell was suggesting?
No, I was suggesting.
No, she was
this Thursday.
suggesting.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
I'll be busy.
Cause we meet on the 17th.
Yes, for budget, which
Yeah.
could theoretically also be looking at ordinance
This,
amendments.
yeah. What if we came in early on the 17th? What if we all came in at like 5 or
Patrick,
4:30?
Sure.
okay, that works for me.
Stuart, you have
That
a
would-
key, right?
Yeah. 5:30, 5.
Oh my God, I'm gonna,
I mean, there's only
5.
three specific items we're looking at.
Yeah, and
And I would suggest that folks come with at least notes and then an hour
Of
to
like-
come up with three specific tailored amendments should not.
Why don't you each take one?
because I think they will wrap into
I think we need to,
each
I
other.
think the storage one is will be fairly straightforward to deal with. I mean,
Okay.
it can be,
all right.
5 o'clock Tuesday,
Let's just meet
17th.
at 5 o'clock on
okay.
the 17th and hopefully we'll hammer it out. And bring, yeah, I like that suggestion of bring notes or suggestions to
Written.
written.
Oh my God.
Triplicate. All right, so that takes care of flood hazard ordinance. Public Safety Committee. You're not on.
That's the committee that Will Height is suggesting.
I've got the list here of suggested members. Does anyone want to see the list?
Yeah,
I've been getting emails. I'm not going
So
to,
they're looking for us to approve that list.
yeah.
I don't have the bandwidth right now, I'm in too many places. So I'm gonna respectfully pull my name from that list.
So there should be one select board member on there. Anyway.
Does anyone want to do it?
Not particularly.
I'll do it.
Somewhat maxed
I need
myself.
another citizen. Under something.
Jacob, ready for the select board? March?
Public Safety Committee?
I was gonna ask if you could break that, you could do the amendment.
Yeah, go for
I
it.
don't think he's allowed to.
No, he could.
He could.
We will
Yeah.
take if it's a suggestion, I think.
Yeah,
it's-
we'll take it.
It's fine.
It's an open meeting.
Would that be
They're-
helpful?
Oh, that'd be so.
Oh, very
I
helpful.
didn't know, I didn't think that we could do that.
No,
Can we do
Nell's
that,
gonna take all kinds of
Can
fun.
we do
Yeah.
that?
And it
If Jacob wanted to make a suggestion to the board, yeah, I mean, that's the
Sure.
point of the public
There you
hearing.
go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Come at
What?
5 on the
Don't say anything.
17th.
Jacob, you wanna come on 5 on the 17th or email one of us?
I can do that, yeah.
Yeah,
I
cool.
can come at 5 on 17.
Right?
I'll
That works.
bring something in writing and then you guys can discuss it.
Good.
Bring several.
Yeah, we'll put it all into a hat and
Rita, if you can hear this, if you have any ideas too, Rita,
No,
I'll
Rita.
email you.
Rona, you mean, hello.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah,
She's
no,
gone.
sorry,
She's gone.
not Rita, sorry, Rita, Rana.
Yeah,
I got
okay.
the R's confused.
That was a great suggestion.
oh yeah, I'm just,
Ever peek at those when you're done?
I'm just not all.
I mean, I don't imagine it's gonna be.
And then you guys.
So
can look
should
at
we
it,
adjust
read
the
it,
member
say either yea or
appointment,
nay.
or
don't
should
like
we
that, or
approve
you
that,
like it.
even though Tim's not on it? Should we?
I'll take his spot because there should be a select board
Well,
member.
and they weren't looking for Tim to be appointed to the board.
Right.
They
I
were
see.
looking for Tim to be the liaison.
So, yeah,
Oh,
and I wanted to be on it originally, but I just got.
Make sure.
Okay. All right, do you have any information on the budgetary needs or is that something we give them a start?
Are you guys gonna do the members?
I make a motion to approve the members on,
On the list.
for the Public Safety Committee.
Second,
Second it. Of these people with you. I
Any-
see Tim's name there.
he's right down here.
Oh, right here, yeah.
Any further discussions? Hearing none, shall we, vote to approve this list?
Yes.
All
Yes.
those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Reach out to VLS right now, it's pretty hard, they're all in exam mode,
Well,
or student rep.
we'll leave that as to be
Yeah.
determined. So now we've approved this, do we know anything about the budget request?
I had it on the agenda because there was a request made for royaltonvt.gov email address. There was a request made to add a specific public safety committee meeting page to the website, which is going to incur a cost from Revise. It's one of the few things that I cannot do is to create a new page within the website. Because it's all done back end. And there, on occasion, been mentions of, signage, pamphlets, that sort of thing. All of those have a cost. We don't have any of that in the budget for this fiscal year, and since we're working on FY 26, I was just encouraging Beth that they have requests or things that they need to spend money on, they need to bring those forward.
Give it to us next meeting.
Well, it's,
Yeah.
I don't,
No, I mean.
I can tell you,
That-
it's,
give it-
you know,
yeah.
$70 a year for a royaltonvt.gov email address.
For
None
each
of our,
person?
for a basic, so like the
For like-
select board can just access their email on the web.
Right.
That's what that is, but none of our other committees have that.
Hmm.
All of our other committees have like a Gmail account that they all share. Or that a couple people monitor, however they do it, they do that themselves.
So, chief is on, you wanna ask? Her opinion?
Right, that's okay.
I don't, I mean,
You talking $70?
$70 a year for a royaltonvt.gov email address.
So no,
And
I
a
think that
webpage
should
cost?
just,
And a webpage cost would be,
I don't know. I have not had to have Revise do any work to the website since we initially created it. I would have to get a quote for that. I would guess you're probably looking at about $250.
okay,
no budget, no budget. It's a brand new committee. It needs to have, like, start. And it can come out of Loretta. Sorry, Loretta, can you fund this committee? Out of the police
wait,
department.
before you ask
Whoa, whoa,
for
whoa.
funding it, I think.
I was already making copies.
What?
I said I've already been making copies.
I think I agree that this, we should see where the committee goes before saying we're gonna give them a budget.
Okay, let's go.
All right. Next, Walter. Wake up, Walter.
We're at the next stage of what hazard mitigation buyouts. The states approved the 3 properties that I suggested. I verified with them Monday, they're all approved. We just in the stage, we need to sign some documents. It's still. Anybody can back out of it, but we need a signer. The select board needs to authorize somebody to sign. There's model deeds.
Which properties are these?
I'd rather not say it at the moment.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's,
do we need to be a select board member or can we authorize Victoria to sign?
Victoria, I think could do it, right?
I can probably sign like the grant agreements and the permission to proceed. But when we get to the point of needing to sign deeds, it would need to be probably the select
Yeah,
board.
these are model deeds, so I'm not
Okay.
sure that probably a select board member would opt to sign them.
What's the
I
model?
make a motion to,
And the model deed is, I don't know, that's how this works is that they give everybody a deed so that when they do FEMA buyouts, with all the restrictions, the property owner has to sign it, the town has to sign it. And, it has to be notarized too. But that's what they require. It's the same deed that we'll sign if we take over the properties in a year or so.
Okay,
It's a preliminary thing they require, still doesn't, hold us to anything or not, but we need somebody.
What's the ownership in the intervening year?
The owner, the still owners own it.
Okay.
Until it's deeded. Until the property is deeded to the town.
well, I will sign, when you give me something to sign, I'll sign it, but,
Okay.
I'll make a motion officially that Stuart be the signer.
Second that.
From the selectmen.
okay,
All in favor?
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Ayes have it. Subgrantee authorization.
That's it,
Comment.
that's
That's
what,
it.
that's what we're
That's what
talking
we're
about.
talking about,
Subgrantee authorization,
Back done.
Check. Anything else, Walter?
No.
Get your tractor yet?
What's that?
Did you get your tractor yet?
Yes, we got it. Works good.
Oh, good.
Still little bugs to work out, but it said all the
Parts
equipment.
fall off it?
What's that?
Did any parts fall out yet?
I haven't found any parts between my house and the co-op.
Yeah.
The other tractor, I always had like a handful of stuff in it.
No, there's still a few bugs to work out there.
Okay, wastewater allocation. Who's that?
I sent the select board an
Yeah.
email about the Freight House building, from the engineer. Who said that they need an increase, in their allocation.
This is Chris Babcock's.
Yes,
So,
We have the capacity.
yes.
oh, yeah,
I'll make the motion to approve the allocation. for the Freight House.
yeah, I'll second just so we can have a discussion. Did they also recommend a larger, connection from 4 to 6 inch?
I do not
Yeah.
know the answer to that
Yeah.
question. I have not seen any engineering. At this point, they're just asking for the
Oh.
allocation. They have not asked at this point for permission to change the connection.
Okay,
It is a 4 inch, as far as I know.
Engineers are working on it. That's all it's-
okay, as long as we have the ability to change, to make that change. If the engineers come back and say that.
Yeah, so it's a two-step. There's the allocation,
Okay,
which is us telling them, yes, we have the capacity to accept your wastewater. That they can then use to finalize their design and apply to both the town and the state for permission to construct this design.
okay. I'll make a motion to approve. Oh,
There's already a
been
motion.
done.
It's already been,
Yep.
yeah.
I made it, you seconded it.
Sorry. Short term,
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Crosswalk, painting.
Can we do it in this kind of weather?
I don't think we can.
It's gotta be dry.
I had a thought today, is perhaps we can put something up temporary, not a temporary, but a different way of marking a crosswalk.
Got orange cones.
Well, yeah, cones or flags or something, but let's look at an alternative, and I'll be happy to look into that.
Because we had one at one point by Eaton House.
Yeah, but right now, it's really hard to ticket somebody
Oh, yeah.
parking in the crosswalk.
You
because
can't see it.
Um,
Take the-
So I'll look,
straight
if
out.
you don't mind, I'll look into an alternative to painting, but I think that we should get them on the schedule for May 1st and the street sweeper for like late
April.
April. And then we'll be ready for
Get the streets swept before they paint them.
Right.
And, yeah,
and I honestly don't think we should do it. I don't think we can just work with the people who do it and request a couple of changes.
Okay, so, getting them on the schedule is
Yeah. Getting months here.
Um,
Oh, you do.
who is, Can you remind me of the kid who works? Cameron, right. Can Cameron have a little bit more, I don't know what capacity he has right now, but to do a little bit more shoveling? I saw the email that you sent. To Walter, I think.
The shoveling ID guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to what we had to say. That was much appreciated.
See you on the
Thank you,
17th.
Jacob.
Yeah, probably the 17th at 5, right?
Yeah.
Cool, man.
You gonna drop the machine on?
Yeah, probably tomorrow afternoon, if it's not too salty, yeah. Yeah.
Real front drive, front, yeah.
Can Cameron
Okay.
shovel where the crosswalks would be specifically in front of
Okay,
the
we can-
school?
Yeah, I can have.
Because it's just not, you can't even like walk across the
Yeah,
street,
okay.
and
Yeah,
so at
I-
least that could be an
I
indicator.
already mentioned that. to him, so.
And if there were orange cones, especially by the school.
Yeah.
Or whatever kind of things we have, maybe in the town garage, there's some sort of,
What kind of, because I don't even think he knows where they are, because.
you can't even see them,
Right.
and yeah, so. Yeah, it's,
I'll talk to him, yes.
What about the sidewalk in front of the block? There was a pretty good furrow there, last
Last, yeah. it's-
storm, and there was no way
Yeah.
to cross it.
Right.
I tried crossing it and I slipped on the ice and fell.
Yeah.
And
Good side.
I was in front of Grandma's grill.
Right, yeah, that's,
The end there.
yeah, I've been working on him to come back and plow. What happens is he cleans the sidewalks all up and then the town comes in and cleans it all up, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the new tractor will help because there's a loader on the front, which can move some of that stuff now, so.
Now, all you need is a couple,
And, yeah, right,
crossings, places to get through.
Yeah.
But,
I will, but that's the problem. They come in after he leaves, they clean it all up. But, so I've been after him to come back, so you come back the next day.
okay,
Yes, it's on my radar.
guardrail update?
Yes, happy to say that, I got in touch with the guardrail folks. A couple different alternatives, but to speak to Brian Thomas's, there's nothing that they can put on temporarily. And they suggested Jersey barriers. I contacted Demi. We have some that we can use, so we'll place them in that one area. I want to do it carefully.
Which
You don't want
one
to-
area?
there you go.
Dairy, up on Dairy Hill. I think it, just because of the size of it narrows, it necks down to nothing and then it goes deep culvert. It was brought up at town meeting last year, we've been trying to get it. But, guardrails, they like to do them early and late, because in the middle of summer, June, July, August, they're really pounding out all the V-Trans work. They can sell it used or new. Used is $20 a foot, and new is 30. I suggest we carry a budget price of 25. The used stuff doesn't sound as bad as you think. They get it from down, they buy it in bulk from down south.
I prefer experience.
Experience, there you go. And anyways, I mean. We could probably use 5 miles. But, I think that we have to at least budget. It'd be somewhere in the neighborhood of 135,000. But we don't have to do a mile. If we do a half mile, we're way ahead of the game, but I think that we should do a mile the first year, and I think that we should budget something for guardrail work. Every year for a while, and then I think that we get them then we can put them on the schedule.
You said early in the spring or
Early in the spring.
late in the fall?
Or like, mid-September to November. They're not doing it right now.
Can we book them for this?
We
year?
can book them. We can see what we have in the budget and like do a projection and maybe get a certain section done.
A specific
Yeah,
spot.
and I think that we should do that. Is one call. We've had to settle once. And it was expensive. It was far more, it was 2 miles worth, let's put it that way. So we're not having just one end cap on. So I think.
Can I
that-
ask some additional questions?
Yeah.
Are you talking about trying to schedule specifically Sherlock Road?
Sherlock,
just that.
Temporary fixes, yes.
Is the guardrail company that you spoke to willing to install that based on their experience, or are they going to want engineered design? Cause you're gonna be looking at a long carry and sometimes they won't do it if it's not a standard install and there's not a V-Trans spec readily
I
available.
didn't ask for a guardrail for that long term. I said, could you do it now? And they said, no, they don't,
Okay.
and they don't have a temporary fix.
Okay,
So they said,
Jersey
they
barriers.
recommend a Jersey barrier, but we gotta be careful because the end of a Jersey barrier is kind of cruel. Right, so we wanna place them right, but we also have Jersey barriers on temporary on Broadway. But to your point, yeah, we'd have to have that engineered. I don't know all the areas and they're not necessarily willing to go drive around and do an inventory. They would like to know how many feet and how many miles, half miles, what areas.
I mean, yeah, yes,
That's
they're
all.
going to want identified project
Right.
areas, which is the reason for my question.
Yeah.
Because if there's not a standard guardrail installation for what we have up there, we are going to need an engineer to
Right.
tell the guardrail company how to put the guardrails.
Right.
Oh,
We're gonna need it for that.
but not necessarily for all the other guardrail
Not
spots that we
necessarily
know,
for-
that we definitely.
Was
need.
it Lafayette that you
Yeah, it
talked
was.
to?
So we should find an engineer for the
Oh, yeah.
Berry Hill.
And Lafayette could probably just tell us who to contact, like who they use a lot.
There also might be a standard spec, but
Right.
it depends on what's in there,
Right,
And
and I haven't,
what the topography is.
but I'll go up with Debbie
Well, this kind of ties into what you suggested last time about having,
goals.
goals for our roads and to really pick out the places that we want the guardrails for the mile that we want to accomplish in 2025.
But I don't think we've ever gotten a budget price before that I'm aware of.
Never lined item.
Not my 6 years, so I think that we should, I think that we should carry something. And I said, if we needed 5 miles of used, he said, no, we can't do that right now. You know, it's all depends on availability, so if we budgeted 25, we might be able to get so many feet of new and so many feet of used, or some combination. But right now, there are some areas that it's ankle high. And
Well, in some areas they don't exist. I mean, with the fix on Key Hill, which has made the surface great in the summer. That is a lawsuit waiting to happen this winter.
it's terrifying.
It's ridiculous because they did this great clearing to improve the road and now there's nothing to keep a
Keep the
vehicle
road
from
over the
going
edge.
all the way down to the bottom of that horrifying gully.
We almost had one go off on last week on the storm.
Yeah,
So I agree with you, 100%.
But there's nothing to affix a guardrail to, that's a thing, it's like there's no secure,
You go 4 feet down
Yeah,
on a post.
yeah, they pound those things.
I mean, it would have to go, it's all like, seems like
it has
it's
to
just
be an extra long
loose
post.
bank, yeah.
But I think
Longer
we're
than
gonna have to prioritize it, so. That's gonna be, like, you know, chief and a couple people doing this together. But we are a lawsuit away,
Yeah,
Let's,
and it used to be in the old days, they'd throw rocks or leave driving some wood, or, you know, telephone poles or something. I don't think we're gonna get away with that.
no,
No,
Okay. So I think we should put it in the budget for something more substantial than we have.
so is there a line item for this now?
No,
there isn't
Technically,
current.
yes.
I think there is.
So there's a small amount of budget for guardrails in the annual budget, which is meant for like maintenance, but then you also have your highway improvement reserve. Which is meant for planning projects and making improvements to your highway.
Okay,
So,
well, first things first, the Jersey barrier should go up that the
Yep.
town
and I'll
crew
take,
could
I'll
do.
take care of that with Deb. And, yeah, and then, we should get on Lafayette's, list and see how much we can afford.
keep throwing numbers at it until they say, yeah, we got that much.
You mean as far as
So for,
inventory?
for FY 25, this current fiscal year, do we want to try and prioritize Sherlock Road and Key Hill? And then you can try to cost out a project and see what you can put on.
And
the
I think the
books.
Back River
Back River Road,
North, yeah, it's
It's
high.
inches from the ground, yeah.
And that's the one we got, busted on before. So. Yeah,
Okay, those three.
Oh, the curve there.
Back River Road. Yeah, those three.
So for budgeting purposes,
$25,
do we need to come up with an estimated
yes.
Someone should. drop-
distance of those three areas?
Someone should
And,
go out
and
measure.
Victoria brought up the engineering cost to do that span.
Do you know what size that culvert is on Sherlock?
I don't, I'll visit it this week.
I can go look at it. It's really a question of whether it ought to be a box culvert instead of whatever is in there. Because there's no point in putting new guardrail over a culvert if it really should be a box culvert.
Right. So that would be a grid.
Yeah.
But that would probably take 2 years to do, so we'd leave something temporary there for a couple of years.
Right.
Well, you got the Jersey barriers.
Yeah. Okay, I just wanna make it. Safer.
I mean, yeah. Um,
Okay, approval of minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting.
I'll second that.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Approval of warrants. I looked at the warrants, they look good.
I guess we've all signed them, so I'll make a motion to approve those too.
And I will second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I,
Any opposed? Ayes have it. All right, budget review.
No. Does anyone have specific changes or amendments that they were looking to have made?
I think we got.
Because also, this is really just your friendly reminder that you actually do need to look at those before we have a special meeting next week. Otherwise, you're not gonna be able to finalize budgets. So everyone should do their homework. Actually look at the budgets, look at where you might wanna make changes and be prepared with those. next week.
I'm gonna make one suggestion, is I like Nell's suggestion that we put that small business approve, like. Somebody, an entity out of Randolph wants to help our small businesses on the business block, I'd like, blow that up, I'd rather have them money. I think that's, is your comment. And little changes like that, those sorts of things bother me, that people don't come and.
Yeah.
Make requests in person or even describe what they do.
we changed that last time though.
We did change it,
Yeah.
okay.
And I don't believe we changed
I don't
the
think we
line
did.
item for GMEDC.
Oh,
because
we
it's not
did
even
not?
No, it's not an appropriation. It's
Oh.
it's association membership fee, so it's in a different section of the budget.
Oh.
I mean, when we go to do that, that's something I would look at.
Unfund them,
Yes,
me, yeah.
I would like to know if anybody on our block is benefiting from that.
They've done any business development in town, yeah.
Any other business?
The road on Pleasant Street,
Owls, you mean?
what's that?
Owls?
Yeah,
We're gonna cold patch it for this year. We can't pave it this year.
well, yeah. Yeah. But when is it gonna get finished?
When is it gonna get paved?
No, and even if it's not the whole thing, just that one section is really atrocious now.
I think that has to be. Scheduled. Spring.
Has Teller dug it up in the septic line yet?
No,
No,
nobody's done any of that
you,
infrastructure work. Which I was kind of hoping for first.
I
Yeah.
know, but
but we can't
that's
like-
not, no, we can't do that. It's gotta be just chunks, I guess.
Because that's not a class 2 road,
It is not eligible for paving
Right.
grant.
but we could take it out of the highway and improve,
No,
okay.
not really, sorry.
We build the home or whoever digs it up.
No,
What?
no, I'm saying for improving what's there, not.
Why can't it come out of the highway?
It could, if you had enough money to pave a road in your highway improvement fund beyond what we need to do for North Road.
Right,
The town's share of the FEMA costs from July 23, the town's share of repairing the abutment for Broadbrook Bridge, and then the
Yeah.
guardrail.
No, I hear you.
the other town should, the Fox stand's
Fox
100%
stand.
covered.
The box stand is not 100% covered. There is some cost share on that, which can range from 0 to 5%. And we also have to rent the temporary bridge from V-Trans. While we're talking about the Fox stand, I sent the select board an email from the V-Trans coordinator asking if the town crew would be available to assist with adding some material to the bank. I don't know if you've seen that one, Tim. It just came today.
I didn't see that.
They were looking for some approval, general approval from the board that the town crew might be able to do that. And
Or help them with it.
a site meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that sounds reasonable.
Is that an action we need to take?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Assuming it'll be, Tim and Stuart and myself who coordinate the meeting and figure out the logistics.
Joe, you get your hand up?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, at the last meeting, Tim, you said that Demi told you that there was cold patches put down on the North Road, and I did not include that in my newspaper report because there weren't any. So, just in case you were wondering.
I'll follow up with Demi, but that was not my understanding.
Well, if there were any, they would only be up by Russo's Mill, where I didn't travel, which is a very, very short section of the North Road.
It was more towards Rupert McCullough's.
Nope, nothing.
I'll follow up.
Does anyone have anything else?
John,
Uh,
you can
Rita?
ask board to approve, your donation to the Betterment Fund to be written to the Historical Society.
I think that has to be a warrant item.
Yeah, it's gonna go on, later agenda.
Okay,
Patrick and Tim and Nell, there's a note here about getting W4s in.
No. Okay.
Just don't forget.
I won't.
What's that mean?
Yeah, wash my hands and then it's gone.
Wash your hands.
It doesn't apply to you.
Okay, take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye. Say aye.
Sayonara.